man, I swear this shit feels special. I knew I was on different levels. OG told me never let another nigga out your dish. And if a nigga playing cap, then the only thing you left to do is off with his best. Ain't nothing.
Right, Black and Unfiltered, we are back. What's happening? What's cracking? Y'all already know me, Mr. Famous Brand himself, Darnell Brown, and this is another BInspired Famous Brand Business Spotlight, where we love to shine light on our fellow Black business owners and entrepreneurs. Of course, shout out to the Black and Unfiltered crew for this production. Today, we have another beautiful marvel in the building with us today. Everybody, please help me welcome Miss Tiffany Gay, owner and founder of BInspired Apparel. Miss Tiffany, we appreciate your time today. How you doing?
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm doing awesome and amazing. How are you?
I'm good. I'm blessed and highly favored on this Sunday, even though it's cold, it's snowing, but we're gonna make it through though.
Right.
All right. So once again, we definitely appreciate your time today because we know time is money, and time is everything. But just like we kick it off with everybody that we have on the show, we're gonna give you the floor to formally introduce yourself on a personal level. Anything that you like to disclose is entirely up to you. Keep in mind, this is Black and Unfiltered. So whatever you want to say, whatever you want to do, it's entirely up to you. But we're going to give you the floor and then we'll pretty much just go from there. So you have the floor.
Thank you so much. Sounds wonderful. So thank you so much again, Darnell. Thank you to Black and Unfiltered. Thank you for the Famous Brand for having me here to be a part of this business spotlight. I am truly honored. I'm grateful, and I do not take it lightly. And so, like Darnell said, my name is Tiffany Gay. I am the CEO and founder of BInspired Apparel Brand, and I bring you greetings, much love, light from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm truly excited to be here. In addition to being the CEO and founder of BInspired Apparel Brand, I am also the CEO and founder of TBT Ministries. I am an international inspirational speaker, an entrepreneur, and a mindset coach. So thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to engaging in this conversation with you.
All right. Well, damn, y'all heard all that. Y'all heard that. I love the intro. That was beautiful, man.
Thank
But
you.
yeah, you, like I said before we went live, you know, I peeped that you definitely be doing the damn thing. So we're gonna get into it, of course. But to begin with, just talk about the history of BInspired, when it was founded, where the idea came from, the name. Just give us a history lesson on BInspired.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I always love, and thank you for asking that and allowing me to share that. I always love to give the history behind BInspired, because what some people may not know is BInspired is the sister brand or the sister vision to TBT Ministries. And so TBT Ministries, that started back in 2017. And I need to go back 2 more years just to let you know how TBT Ministries even came about before I can even tell you how BInspired Apparel Brand came about. So in 2015 and 2016, I went through what I call unfamiliar simultaneous lack. And so some things had taken place in my life, and suddenly, you know, I was experiencing unfamiliar, very new to me. I had never been in this position before. Simultaneously, these things were going on at the same time, lack. And so from that, it led me into severe depression and anxiety. And I have a 12-year-old daughter. And during that time, she was really instrumental in me overcoming that period of depression and anxiety, in addition to my faith and belief in God, in addition to identifying my daughter as my why. And so when I did that, I was able to become resilient, and everything that I was experiencing that I called lack, I was able to overcome. And so when I say lack, back in 2015, 2016, when I was dealing with severe depression and anxiety, all at the same time, my car had been repossessed. My house was in jeopardy of being a foreclosure. I had little to no income at times. My daughter's education was in jeopardy. I was getting my change together from one of those jugs, those water jugs I had filled with change. So I was taking that to the supermarkets. So I don't know where you all live, but at our markets up here, they have those coin banks. I'm sure you all have that as well. And
Yeah.
so I would take my change to the coin bank just so I could be able to buy my daughter spaghetti sauce, and the Kool-Aid. So something that was going to stretch and last, and ground turkey for a couple of days. And so all of those things compiled together at the same time led me to that severe depression and anxiety. And so when I was able to identify my why, which was my daughter, activate my faith and my belief in God, pray, I was able to shift my mindset. And if you follow me on any of my social media pages, you'll hear me talk a lot about shifting my mindset. And so again, when I did all of those things, I was able to overcome. Got my car back out of repossession. The foreclosure was overturned. My daughter remained in school, and she has never missed a meal. So much so her nickname is Cookie Monster. Okay, so Cookie Monster. So from that, I feel like God had taken me through that to use me to be a voice of inspiration and hope for other people. And so from that, in 2017, God gave me TBT Ministries. And it wasn't a type of tea where we're sitting around gossiping about what happened to Keisha on Love and Hip Hop. We weren't talking about who slept with whose baby daddy. This was a faith-based, inspirational type of tea. And my mission and my message to the women and youth that I brought together, which started in the living room of my home, was to be the CEO of your life by shifting your mindset. And so with that, I said, well, now I have the T with T, the speaking part. I want to also have the inspirational apparel brand that aligns with the T with T. And so although I had that thought in 2017 to start the apparel brand to align with the TBT Ministries, I unfortunately sat on it because I allowed people to get in my ear and discourage me, and which is one of the reasons why I came out with this hoodie I have on that says, "Beware of the Joy Jackers." There were people who I went to who was in the same business, but they weren't as encouraging as I thought they would have been. And in retrospect, I realized their ulterior motives. So Beware of the Joy Jackers was one of my first hoodies that I came out with. But fast forward, I don't know how many of you know when there are things that you were called to do. There are things that that you are just destined and you're supposed to do. And God just won't let you get away from it. You know what I'm saying, Darnell? These things wake you up in the middle of the night. You get that feeling in the pit of your stomach. It just won't leave your mind. You daydream about it. And that's what was happening with the apparel brand. And so I think it was in 2019, I began to start to pursue it again and do the research and my due diligence to get the brand up. And on May 15th, 2020, I launched BInspired Apparel Brand. And the mission is really to let people know that your current situation is not your final destination. And so you too can dream big, dream bold, and dream with expectations. So that is the history behind BInspired Apparel Brand.
Okay. You better plug the what's the name in the dream big, dream bold. Yeah, you better plug it in there because I definitely see that too. But that's a beautiful story, man, and I definitely appreciate your transparency in regards to that, as far as the struggle that you had to go through, going through depression, hustling to get back to where you need to be. We actually talk about that a lot on Black and Unfiltered, as far as your mental health and going through trials and tribulations, staying consistent, and a lot of things of that nature. Now I wanted to ask, I'm glad you brought up T with T, because that was actually one of the things that I did want to ask you about. So I know you did talk about it within the history and whatnot, but can you kind of elaborate that a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. So TBT Ministries, and it's interesting because the ministries part wasn't always a part of it. That just kind of fell in there recently because as you probably can tell, I believe God, I listen to God, I trust God. And if it was not for God, I wouldn't be here. So I include God in everything that I do. And there was a time where I ran from my calling, I ran from the gifts, but God just continues to bring me back to it. So I accept what it is that he's doing and what T with T is. It is a ministry. And so that started in 2017. And let me just say this to people. When you do what you can do, God will do what you can't do. Because in 2017, when he gave me the vision for T with T, I said, okay, well, I don't have a venue. I'm still just overcoming the lack. I'm still just beginning to generate some income, so God, I don't have a venue. Where are these people going to gather to be a part of T with T? And God gave it to me, the living room of your home. I said, wow, okay. So then I said, well, God, what is this going to look like? What's the layout? So God gave me all of that. So T with T, that's how it started in the living room of my home back in 2017. And I brought women and youth together. And like I said earlier, the mission, the core message was about being the CEO of your life and believing that you possess the executive power and authority to make decisions about your life and for your life. And so we did things like goal setting sessions. I had panelists who I invited to come up from North Carolina, from different parts of Philly. Yeah, one up from North Carolina, different parts of Philly. And they spoke on different topics related to endurance, resiliency, and strength, which was profound to me because as I was going through that season of unfamiliar simultaneous lack, it was God who gave me the strength first so that I could endure, and in the end, so that I was resilient. And so we will talk about topics like that. And T with T began to grow. I realized that more people needed to hear my story and my testimony. So from the living room of my home, that expanded to me sharing my T with T on international prayer calls, where I was able to reach people as far as Barbados and Africa. I went out into the schools in Philadelphia and youth programs. I've been flown out to different states to speak, and different platforms or other people's platforms, podcasts, and it just, T with T Ministries has just continued to grow, and I'm grateful for it.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Now you said that you do motivational speaking and whatnot. So I do want to ask, do you have, or what's your I guess what's like your background or education or experience in regards to that, if any?
Yeah, very good question. So I have 16 years in the mental health field, and I have worked with everyone from literally children to the elderly population. So I've been in the mental health field for 16 years. I have a bachelor's in human development and family studies. I have master's degrees. I've been through a PhD program in human services. And so I really, though, focus what I do on my life experiences. I feel like for me, that's the best teacher, and also helps me to be relatable to other people, so people want to know, if I'm talking to you, do you really say you understand just to say you understand? Or are you saying you understand because you've been through what I've been through? And so I can say, I understand. I've been through the depression. I've been through the anxiety. I've been through not having money in my bank account. I've been through sleeping in a cold house with my coat on because I didn't have any heat. Like I've been through that. But to answer your question, yes, I do have 16 years experience in the field of mental health.
Okay. That's good to hear. We might need to actually bring you on the show, because like I said, we talk about mental health like often, like every time that we record our podcast, mental health comes up in some form or fashion. And it's to the point where we have topics, excuse me, we have topics like centered around mental health and whatnot. So we may need to bring you on the show one good time and have that additional conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shout out to Ebony. Ebony has been in the comments heavy. One of the things she said, don't forget about the book bags that you sent to Haiti.
So let me tell you about Ebony. Ebony is actually in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Okay.
Ebony is my baby sister. She is also part of my team with the BInspired Apparel Brand. So shout
Okay.
out to Ebony. She is my visual communications consultant. And I know we had spoke before we went live. She's also in the military. She's a major in the Army. And
Okay.
so Ebony is one of my dream team members that keeps me on my toes and she keeps me sharp. And so we talked about all the things I have going on now. And Ebony is very instrumental and helpful with keeping me intact and aware of everything I have going on. So yes, over the summer, we did our first annual book bag giveaway. And one of the things that we also did for my church as being part of the Home and Farm Mission, I was able to bless children in Haiti with book bags, backpacks that were filled with school supplies. Yes. I
Well,
think we
shout out.
sent 10 book bags over to Haiti. I think it was 10.
Nice. Well, definitely shout out to you in that regard. And shout out to Ebony. One, thank you for your service. Two, shout out to Fayetteville. Ebony, I'm in Greensboro, so you know we in North Carolina together. If you got some snow up there, be safe. But continuing on with you, one of the things that I noticed, you know, doing a little bit of research or whatnot, is that you had a virtual vision board party. So if you can kind of talk about that, how that went, and also if you don't mind, talk about what's on your vision board.
Right. So the vision board party didn't happen yet, but I'm glad that you brought it up. It's actually going to be this Wednesday at 8 p.m. So if people are interested, my contact information is up here so you can get in touch with me and I will send you the link for that vision board party. And what I really want to do with people during that vision board party, and let me just tell you why it's happening in January. So we are in the first month of the first quarter. So I want us to get out into 2022 with full momentum. Let's get out into 2022, shifting our mindsets and really going after, let me back up, really thinking about and then going after those things that we dream about. And I'm really encouraging and pushing people to dream big. You know, I believe that there are limitless opportunities for you and limitless goals and dreams and aspirations. So I really want people just to get out full speed ahead in 2022 and identify those big dreams, those big goals, and the big things that you see for yourself. So that will be happening this Wednesday at 8 p.m. And just get in touch with me if you would like to join.
Okay, perfect. Well, I can go ahead and let you know if you could please send me that link, because I know me and my lady, we honestly we haven't done our vision board yet. We usually do it at the beginning of the year. We definitely did one last year, and I will say for those who have never done a vision board, just from personal experience, and especially as an entrepreneur, I would definitely try to start doing a vision board in regards to your goals, you know, and even the way that we do it is we break it down every quarter, what we want to do for each quarter. So anybody that's watching, especially if you're an entrepreneur, I would definitely advise to try incorporating a vision board within your entrepreneurial journey. And even if you're not an entrepreneur, just if you have things in general in life that you want to accomplish, still utilize a vision board. It's definitely helpful. It definitely helps put things in perspective. But overall, I would definitely advise that. But yeah, like I said, please send me that link.
I definitely will. And I want to piggyback off of what you said, because for my personal vision board, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be breaking it down into quarters. So I'm so glad that you said that, because for some people trying to look at the next 6 months, trying to look at the next 12 months, trying to look at the next 3 to 5 years can be overwhelming. So if we just break it down into quarters, you know, smaller steps, short-term goals in preparation and in alignment with reaching that long-term goal, I think that from some people, and I know for me, it will be less stressful and it will really help me focus in on what I need to do and be able to better prioritize and organize what I need to do, the action steps over the next 3 months. And the vision board is something, I mean, I'm sure you all know, we've done vision boards before, you know, hang it up so you can look at it. You know, and Habakkuk 2 and 3 talks about writing the vision and making it plain. And so that's another reason why we are going ahead and doing this vision board party. And you know, just so you can be able to see it before you see it. And that's where your faith comes in. But I'm glad that you brought that up about the quarters. Yes, I agree.
Right, definitely. And yeah, just to piggyback again, definitely hang it up. I know me and my lady, we hang ours up pretty much like right by our bedroom door. So, as soon as we get up and walking towards the door to, go do what we got to do, that vision board is sitting right there.
Yes.
And then the vision board is just, it's for me, it's a manifestation kind of thing. Like, I wrote it down, I said it. So I just feel like it's bound to come. For me last year, it actually worked out a lot. Once again, I would definitely advise anyone to incorporate a vision board within your life. Definitely helpful. Continuing on with you, go back, because I know you mentioned it before in regards to incorporating the products to emphasize on your brand and whatnot. So talk a little bit more about the products that you have, the different products and merchandise that you have.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we have hoodies, we have t-shirts, we have socks, we have book bags, we have face masks. And so with BInspired Apparel Brand, it's inspirational apparel from head to toe. So we want you to be able to wear these inspirational products from your head to your toes. We are actually in the process of creating more products. We have a duffel bag that is coming out soon. And let me just also shout out my other two Dream Team members, Maya Bannerman and Jasmine Powell. And so we actually have a meeting this evening to talk about more products that we are rolling out. But yeah, and you asked me earlier about where the name BInspired came from, and I never answered that question. And so that name, it really embodied what I wanted people to feel when they see me or look at me or around me, have a conversation with me, read information about me. And it's also what my hope is for you, with all the awesome things that you are doing, because you all have your own story, you have your own testimonies. You are all wonderful, awesome, and amazing in your own right. And so I want people to be able to also look at you and be inspired and know that things can turn around for them too, just as they did for you, whatever that may have been. And so, yeah, we have the hoodies, we have the t-shirts, we have the socks, we have the face masks. We even have stationery items. We have journals, we have pencils, yeah, we have pens. So yeah, and the link to the website is up there as well, BInspiredApparel.net. And so we are continuously adding things to our product list.
Okay, perfect. Well, y'all make sure y'all check out BInspiredApparel.net. Just take a look at the website, purchase some shit. But yeah, definitely take a look at that website. Another thing that I wanted you to talk about was, I noticed Breakdown to Breakthrough conference. So please, if you can, talk about that as well.
Yes, you just asking all the great questions. You on it. I love it. Thank you.
I'll be trying, man. I'll be trying out here.
You're doing a phenomenal job. So yes, the Breakdown to Breakthrough conference. Let me tell you, so that is all related to shifting your mindset. And when we go through things, so the breakdown is the loss, it's the hurt, it's the abandonment. And we look at it as a break, is the lack, the breakdown. So my breakdown back in 2015, 2016, but breakdown of my mental health, right? And then life goes on, right? So we're human and things still happen. And what God has been doing with me is dealing with me with shifting the mindset. And that's why, as a mindset coach, my core belief is that when you shift your mindset, there will be a shift in the trajectory of your life. And so while we look at that breakdown as something that's so catastrophic, something that we can't bounce back from, God has shown me that the breakdown was actually necessary for our breakthrough, right? And so if I had not gone through all those things in 2015, 2016, my breakdown, I would not have broken through to do the T with T, to do the Breakdown to Breakthrough conference, to start the apparel brand. And so in October, God gave me the vision for the Breakdown to Breakthrough conference, and I start working on it in December. And then on January 15th, we actually had a virtual Breakdown to Breakthrough conference. And the mission was in 2022, the theme was in 2022 You are breaking into new territories, stomping on new grounds, and knocking on new doors. And like you said, and it goes back to that manifestation and really seeing things before you see it and believing that the breakdown is not going to destroy you. The breakdown is not going to cast you out. The breakdown is part of that driving force for your breakthrough. And so I'm so happy for all the individuals who participated in the Breakdown to Breakthrough conference last week. And following that, we are still moving with that. And in March, I'm going to be doing a free webinar on my Facebook group page, Shift Your Mindset and Dream Big. So I encourage all of you to join that group as well. And we're going to be talking about how, and it's interesting, Darnell, you mentioned mental health, because in March, that free 3-day webinar, we're going to be talking about how mental health can infringe upon your ability to shift your mindset. So stay tuned for that. And then on June 18th, we're coming to North Carolina. We're going to be in, what is it? I know Ebony's going to remind me. Wallace, North Carolina, I believe it is, for an in-person Breakdown to Breakthrough conference. Because so people need to know, although things may seem gloomy and dim and, desolate right now, there is a breakthrough on the other side waiting for you.
For sure. One of the slight quotes that I had said in our most recent episode that we just recorded is take things as a lesson, not as a loss. Everything, regardless of what you go through, regardless of your trials and tribulations, it's always a lesson to be learned. And it's only happened, in my opinion, to make you stronger, to make you better. That's how I take everything in life that's happened to me and that happens to me. And it's gotten me to this point. So, all in all, I say take things as a lesson, not as a loss, just to end that and throw that out there. Now, like I said before we started recording, you be doing the damn thing. And, clearly just going through this interview, you be doing the damn thing. But one of the things that I noticed on the website is you got a couple accolades up here, a couple awards up here. I see that you have the citation from the city of Philadelphia. And then you also have looks like something called the Uppity Awards. Okay, so talk about those. Definitely talk about those.
When you mentioned that, the awards, I just got like these chills or something's going on the inside, because I'm so humble. I'm so grateful. And when I look back over my life over the last 5 to 7 years, I would not have never imagined that breakdown leading to this type of breakthrough, and God positioning me in the way that he has. And so, yes, in October of last year, 2021, the Uptown Standard newspaper here in Philadelphia, they had their first annual Uppity Awards, and they highlighted individuals in a certain area, community of our city, and there were different categories. And I won an award for the People's Choice Award, right? And so the people, and it's so interesting. I always say to people, you never know who is watching you, right? And I never do anything for recognition. I just do it because it's my passion, because it's my purpose, and it's because really what God has called me and told me to do. And one of the things I heard God say is get my message out. So through the TBT Ministries, through the apparel brand, and everything else that he is having me to do. And with doing that, people noticed and people had responded. And so, yes, I did receive an Uppity Award for the female change maker of the year here in our community. And it just makes me smile and blush, because I'm just in awe, like, what? Ooh, me? So yeah, so that was an award. During that same night, I also received, which was a surprise as well, a citation from the city of Philadelphia for my exemplary work in the community with doing the book bag giveaways, the Thanksgiving meals. I do a breast cancer awareness walk and raise awareness around breast cancer. So I've been doing a lot, which to me in the moment of it, didn't seem like I'm just doing what I'm led to do. I'm not even doing it thinking that people are watching and noticing. So yes, I received those awards. And also there was an award for the Sean Crump People's Choice Award. And Sean Crump was one of the, God rest his soul, he passed away. He was one of the co-founders of the Uptown Standard newspaper. So yes, I have received those awards. I have been interviewed in magazines, a magazine here in Philadelphia. So
Okay.
yeah, I guess I am doing the thing, don't I? I guess so.
You doing it, man. Let me give you a round of applause first of all.
Thank you.
But yeah, you doing the damn thing, and I'm glad. I like how you said that. Of course, you're not in it for the awards and the accolades, and as a fellow entrepreneur, you don't necessarily look for that. You just doing what you do because you have a purpose in doing what you do.
Right.
And whatever comes with it, it just comes with it. But to get an award of that stature, and especially coming from the people, that's huge. That's wonderful, and that's beautiful, man.
Thank you.
And even though that we don't look for those awards and those accolades, of course, receiving that is very, like you said, very humbling. And it shows it's a good acknowledgement, showing that, like I said, you doing the damn thing. So, I say all that it's okay to, pat yourself on the back every now and then, and, and, talk a little, talk a little shit or whatever, but it is what it is. But overall, that's beautiful, and definitely congratulations to you. I feel like the only thing that's missing, they owe you a key to the city at some point. But
hey, go ahead and speak it into existence. We're
gonna exactly. We'll manifest that, speaking into existence.
Put it on my vision board.
Hey, there you go.
Wow.
But yeah, that's definitely beautiful. Continuing on, so essentially, if I'm not mistaken, you said pretty much everything kind of came full circle like 2017. If I'm not mistaken.
You're right.
So based off from 2017 up until now, from your perspective, talk about one, what do you love most about being an entrepreneur and doing what you do? And then, if you don't mind, tell us how business is going.
Yeah, absolutely. So from 2017 to now, what I love most about being an entrepreneur, I just really love that I'm able to get the message out. And people who know me and people who I've talked to, and I'll tell them it's not about the money, it's about the message. Especially because, as again, we talked about mental health. People need to be reminded, so the fact that I'm able to be an entrepreneur and be an entrepreneur who puts out inspirational products, that means the most to me. When people see me wearing certain things that says Beware of the Joy Jackers, or I have a hoodie that says I'm betting on me, or I have a hoodie that says I don't need your permission to be great. People resonate with it like, wait a minute, hold up. I need that. I need that on me to remind me when I look in the mirror, I don't need anybody's permission to be great. I'm not going to wait for you to tell me to get started. I'm not going to allow you to tell me that I'm not good enough. I'm not going to allow you to tell me that I'm not qualified. I don't need your permission to be great. And so that is one of the most rewarding things for me, is that I am able to support people in that way, with shifting their mindset, with helping them rewrite or break those self-defeating thoughts or patterns of thinking that they have about themselves and about their ability. And so that is really what's most rewarding to me. And then the fact that I'm able to be that example for my daughter. And so that alone, I can do a whole nother segment about that, and being her example, and just really being someone who she can look at like, wow, mommy went through this struggle. Mommy went through this breakdown, but we didn't have to stay there, right? There is the possibility to overcome and be resilient and still be effective and reach so many people across the nation. And so that's rewarding too, that she's able to look at me, that she's able to learn the business, right? And so right now she's my assistant. So my daughter is my assistant. When I did the Breakdown to Breakthrough conference, she was behind the scenes, she was managing the Zoom. She writes my schedule on the whiteboard, and I have my meetings with my dream team. She's providing her insight. She's only 12. So growing up, that's something that I didn't have. No one taught me about being an entrepreneur, running a business, while I'm still learning. or about how to manage, my finances and financial literacy. So that is also rewarding. As I'm learning, I'm able to be her teacher. And so right now, how is business going? I am happy about where I am. I'm excited about where I'm going. And I'm more grateful, and I'm more thankful to God for giving me the strength. Like you said, I'm doing a thing, and I'm just grateful that I have the strength. I look at my schedule some days and I'm like, oh my God, I was just saying this to Ebony. Like, sometimes my head wants to explode, but I'm excited about the journey. I'm excited about what's next for the brand. And I can talk to you more about this offline. I was telling my team, I want to start something with like an entrepreneur group where we have like biz talk. We can talk about how we got started, why we got started, what's working, what hasn't worked, and just really come together and create a circle with entrepreneurs. So I'll keep you updated about that too.
Oh yes, please do, because I am all for collaboration. I'm actually other than Black and Unfiltered, of course, I'm in collaboration with another business owner for one of my products that I actually sell. So and that's part of the goal of the Famous brand, is to collaborate with other Black businesses, to create opportunities and things of that nature. But yeah, congratulations to you, especially incorporating your daughter within your business. The fact that she's only 12 and doing so much with you and for you is incredible. So definitely shout out to you in regards to that. As going through your journey or whatnot as an entrepreneur, what advice would you give to other entrepreneurs, whether starting out or they may have been in the game for a couple years? What advice would you give to other entrepreneurs in regards to their entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah, very good question. I would say to believe in yourself, right? It's not other people's vision, it's not their dreams, it's the dream and the vision that God gave to you. And if you allow people to talk you out of their dream and out of your seat and your position, then it'll never happen. And so I would just say that, to believe in yourself. And like I said in the beginning, when you do what you can do, I believe that God will do what you can't do. Because when I got started, I didn't have a whole lot of money sitting in the bank waiting to start this apparel brand, right? And so I used what I had, and then God did the rest. And something happens. It's like the universe opens up and you are aligned and connected with people when you just put yourself out there. And so when I did that, there were people, unlike back in 2017 when I wanted to get started, but back in 2019, 2020, there were people who I reached out to who were more than willing to give me advice, some tips, some tools, and things like that. And so I did what I could do. And then the universe, God, just allowed things to happen so that other things will fall into place. I will also say to people think that because they don't have money, again, that their goals are not attainable, they're not achievable. And what I tell people is, if you're not able to invest money, you have to be willing to invest your time. And that's what I did. So investing my time looked like me doing my due diligence. I was doing research. I was on YouTube as it related to my niche. So you don't want to just be all over the place, as it related to what I was trying to do. I signed up for free webinars. I took note, and also take notes, and then apply as it applies to your niche, what it is that you're learning. And so there were nights where I didn't sleep. There were days when I didn't eat, because in the beginning, I didn't have the money. So I was willing to invest my time. So I would say that. And as I continue to grow in entrepreneurship, and as you continue to grow in entrepreneurship, I would just say to remain consistent and celebrate those small milestones, right? And so you may not be where you want to be in your business, but you're not where you used to be in your business. So celebrate every milestone. And like Darnell said, pat yourself on the back. It doesn't mean that you're high-minded or you think that you're holier than thou, whatever the case may be. But listen, you worked hard. You've come a long way from the beginning. So those small wins, those small milestones, I believe will give you that push and motivation that you need to keep on going.
For sure. Beautiful advice, man. Definitely. Just keep your head down, stay consistent. Always remember your purpose and what you're doing. And the rest will follow. That's not to say that the journey is easy, because it's a lot that goes into it. Money does have to go into it. Time definitely has to go into it. You have to be patient with things. But at the end of the day, for me, as long as you stay consistent, then it'll happen. It'll fall through. And like I said before, take losses as a lesson, not as an actual loss. Whether that's financially, if you didn't meet a particular goal, or anything of that nature, just take it as a lesson, and improve the next time. And like I've been saying, like Tiffany said, don't be afraid to pat yourself on the back. Real quick, shout out to Snoop Dogg. He said, "I want to thank me." So
yes, I saw that clip. I love
it. Yeah, he said, "I want to thank me." So granted, all honor to God and everything that He's blessed us to accomplish and receive, and things of that nature. Be thankful for, if you have a team, be thankful for your team, be thankful for your supporters. But at the same time, keep in mind that you put in that work too. You did it too. So you can tell yourself, "I want to thank me." I tell myself that, not too often, of course, but every now and then I thank myself for putting in the fucking work. Excuse my language, but it is what it is. So talk about what are the future goals for BInspired? We'll say, what do you have going on or trying to accomplish within, we'll say, like the next 5 years?
Yeah, so the next 5 years, I really want to see, no, let me change my language. I will see BInspired will be international, right? So BInspired is not just going to be in the United States. We're going to be in China. BInspired is going to be global. And that's where I see BInspired. We're going to have, different collections, within BInspired. We're going to do fashion shows. And so I'm already planning with my team to do our first fashion show in 2023. Right?
Okay.
And so I think that there's nothing that we can't do. Right. And so I'm just really looking forward to BInspired, being global and reaching so many more nations as people continue to be inspired. I'm looking for the collaborations that BInspired is going to make. So that, anything is possible. Anything is possible. I look forward to my daughter being the one to run this business one day. So years down the line. And so I want this business to be a business that continues to generate wealth, for 500 years from now. And sometimes we just look at the next 10 years, the next 30 years. No, I'm looking at the next 100 years and beyond, right? So I want BInspired Apparel Brand to be around forever, as we continue to get the message out. And I just want to go back real quick when you were saying what I said, while you were talking about being consistent and patting yourselves on the back and really just staying the course. And one of the things that I heard Steve Harvey say is, the one thing that's guaranteed in life is that if you quit, that thing will never happen, right? And so, like you said, pat yourself on the back, celebrate those milestones.
Most definitely. Once again, shout out to Ebony. Ebony, you've been active up in here, girl.
Ebony, we on it.
But she said hashtag support Black business, and I want to keep this up here. And Ebony, I'm glad you said this, because once again, from my most recent episode, this came up, and I'm very, very passionate about this hashtag because, we talked about how, I'm not sure if you caught the interview with Chico Bean and Dr. Claude Anderson.
I did not see that.
Okay, so essentially they were talking about capitalism and a code of conduct, and how when I say we as African Americans, we as Black people, we lack a code of conduct within our community. To further talk about that, if you think about, like Jewish people, they support each other fully. You think about Chinese people, it's a Chinatown in a lot of major cities. So why, because of that, my question is, why isn't there a Black Wall Street in a variety of different cities? And to be honest, we're a part of that problem. So, I say all that to say that, every time that I see this hashtag, every time that I use this hashtag, I use it wholeheartedly and I stand firm by it. That's that's the MO of the Famous brand. Like I said before, I'm en route to try to bring back Black Wall Street in multiple areas, physically and virtually. And I really don't want this to just be a hashtag, to just be a trend that gets old and then it's just on to the next one. I feel like this is the time that to keep it blunt, this is the time we got to get it cracking. Like, we got to support each other. And I'm not just talking about, financially, of course, just putting the word out there, word of mouth, sharing things. It's a lot of free stuff you can do to support a Black business. And I really want to emphasize on that to anybody and everybody that's watching, that we as a community, we need to support our Black businesses. That's one of the ways that, to be honest, I feel like we can overcome. Of course, there's other factors as far as like politics and, voting for the right officials, hiring the right people, building our own communities and things of that nature. But, like I said, my MO is in regards to, the business part of it. So once again, Ebony, thank you for this hashtag. And leading into that, I want to ask you, as far as how do you feel about the importance of supporting Black business?
I think it is essential, and I know for me, I make it my business to support Black-owned businesses. I have so many hoodies or t-shirts or things, and even if I don't buy it for myself, I'll get it for someone else. And I love what you said about it's not always financial. It costs you nothing to repost. It costs you nothing to say, hey, this Black-owned business, they're doing a pop-up shop, you should go check them out or something like that. So all those things are free, to shop people out. So yeah, and I like what you're doing, Darnell, and how you are really doing the work. So you're not just saying, okay, hashtag support Black businesses, but you're actually doing something about it, and you are calling other people to get involved as well. So I really love that you're doing that. And so I agree, we all have to support one another. Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you. And that's, to be honest, that's part of the reason why, I have the name for my brand that I have, because, even me initially, when I came out, Famous is stood for Fine, Awesome Man on Unparalleled Success. And, that was me starting out, just wanting to be in business for myself. But as I began to put things in perspective, I rebranded and slightly changed the name. So now it stands for Fine, Awesome, Marvels on Unparalleled Success, because I honestly feel like I'll say it, we as Black people, we are the marvels of this world. And I stand firm by that. And that's why, I'm so passionate about, like I said, this hashtag that I have displayed up here, is because, like I said, we are the marvels of the world. We are the ones that can change everything for the better. And that's just my personal opinion, and I'm always stand firm by that because I love our people. But continuing on with that, if you can, do you have a Black business referral that we should look into, possibly reach out to for an interview? Anything of that nature?
I do. There's so many. Wow.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, because people are like, oh, you forgot me, and
right, like, you gonna do that to me? I want to leave. Oh wow. There's so many. Okay, so there is a man and his wife. They are in Delaware. His name is Kenny Brown. His brand is called Kingdom Believers. And so I really like their message. I really love what they are doing. And so I can send you their information. And so he was the first. And I'm sorry, y'all. I know there's so many businesses, but theirs was the first one that popped into my head.
It's all good.
It was the first one that popped into my head. Yeah. But I'll definitely send you over some other names of some referrals. But yeah, Kenny Brown, I believe his wife's name is Tanisha Brown. But yeah, the Kingdom Believers is the name of their apparel line.
Okay. All right, definitely. Well, yeah, we'll definitely talk afterwards, and we'll connect, we'll get some businesses to look into, and we'll pretty much just go from there. But
yeah, you got me pulling up my other phone looking. Oh man. Oh my
Well,
gosh, but there's so
well,
many people that do so many great things. But yeah, kingdom believers, that's yeah.
okay. All right, we'll definitely look into them. But nevertheless, once again, thank you. Thank you for your time on this Sunday. Thank you for your story. Once again, your transparency. Um, just overall, thank you. Thank you for doing what you do and
Thank you.
doing the damn thing.
Thank you.
And many blessings on your future endeavors. I'll definitely be in touch with you, you know, on a networking standpoint, keeping up with you and whatnot. Thank you so much for this interview, and your time. And I hope that we can definitely connect and collaborate, you know, whether it's on behalf of Black and Unfiltered, on behalf of the Famous brand, or on behalf of both. You definitely have our full support in anything that you do. Send us those links. Make sure that we can tap into those as well. And before I close out, if you can just plug in your information. Of course, we have it displayed, but plug in your information so people can keep up with you and contact you.
You can follow me. My main page on Facebook is Tiffany Gay. You can also go on Instagram and follow me on my apparel page, which is BInspired, just the letter B, INSPIRED _apparel _brand. And you can check out all of your inspirational apparel from us at BInspiredApparel.net. And so I most certainly look forward to connecting with all of you. And I do want to leave you with one final thing, because as Darnell said earlier, being an entrepreneur is not always easy. There will be times where you want to give up, you want to throw in the towel, you want to walk away, you want to close the door, lock it, and throw away the key. But if I can leave you with one last thing, I would say to you, when you feel like giving up, pick yourself up physically, dust yourself off emotionally, refill yourself spiritually, and start over mentally. Be inspired. And that's it.
Check you out, man. Check you out. Well, once again, thank you. For everybody that's watching, this does conclude another BInspired Famous Brand Business Spotlight, where we love to shine light on our fellow Black business owners and entrepreneurs. Of course, I am your host, Mr. Famous Brand himself, Darnell Brown. Please make sure y'all support the Famous brand. Get your dip, get your merch, get your fragrance. You already know I got the Dip King, Buffalo Chicken Dip, Shrimp and Crab Dip, Philly cheesesteak dip. We're gonna talk about that, Tiffany. Of course, y'all know I got the merch, and I have my fragrance collection as well, with the cologne, the fabric car spray, and the incense as well. All those can be looked at and purchased on my online store within the link in my bio. On Facebook, Darnell and Famous Brown. Instagram at SmoothD620. Please make sure if you're looking at this video on YouTube and or the Black Tube, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channels on YouTube and the Black Tube, the Famous brand. Any inquiries in regards to the business spotlight, or if you want to be featured for an exclusive interview, please send all inquiries to my email, the_famous_brand@yahoo.com. Y'all already know, get your dip, get your merch, get your fragrance. It's the Famous brand. Of course. Thank you. Of course, this is a Black and Unfiltered production, so please make sure that you check out the Black and Unfiltered crew. As you can see, their information is below. Make sure you pull us up on your favorite place to listen to a podcast. Google Black and Unfiltered. We gonna pop the fuck up. But other than that, man, Tiffany, thank you once again. It's the Famous brand. It's BInspired Apparel. It's Black and Unfiltered. And we gone, man. As Pooch Flair will say, cut the tape. Cut the tape.
Canadian County rags coming in. Niggas phony, all this cap ain't coming in. I the mud, look at where we came from. I'm just trying to send my stack to London. Everybody got their eyes on me. Hating niggas trying to slide on me. Made me gotta wipe my back every day. Hoping God keep his eyes on me. Nigga came straight from the projects. Gotta keep it on me, I married my